Hello everyone, it's me, Will. Just me today. Not Crystal, not anybody else, just me. So today I wanted to address a couple of different things that came up. Well, number one, the first thing is my vacation and returning for vacation. Where was I? Why was I gone? And what's happening and where is everything going? That's the first part. The second part that I wanted to talk to you about was a community post that I made on my main channel, 411 Now, that I made shortly after returning. If you haven't checked out that channel, if you're interested in true crime, I highly suggest you go check out my other channel. So let's start with my vacation. While I was gone, I turned off all my devices. I tried not to, even the messages that came through on my cell phone, I tried to ignore everyone. It wasn't that I did it because I don't care about you and your messages and your responses and your comments. I turned off all my devices because I needed the time away. I needed to find a way to re-energize my batteries. I needed to work on myself. But I saw a lot of people, and I was sent messages, that I saw after I got back, for comments and people that made on other channels, other community forums, on Facebook and as well, about why I was gone for 12 days. Let me dispel all the rumors right here for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I wasn't in rehab. And no, I was not in jail either. And the third is, I'm not rich, and I didn't buy a Land Rover, go to an expensive spa on the ocean front, or buy a cabin in the mountains. None of these things are true. In the total 4 years that I've been on YouTube, I've made just about $4,000 total. A large portion of the donations that I get from people, that they want to help me, support me in my content, I give away. I've helped support several nonprofit agencies this entire time, but it's not about the money. I'm only bringing that up because I didn't buy a Land Rover, or I didn't buy a yacht, I didn't buy a Ferrari. None of these things are even interest of mine at all. I have zero interest in Italian sports cars. I mean, they look cool, but can I haul lumber in them? No. So it has no real interest to me. But why was I gone for 12 days? And the middle of the month. And such odd days too. Wednesday to Wednesday, for the main part of it. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, here's a little secret. If you want to take a vacation, don't go on the weekends. Go during the middle of the week. You can get better hotel rates, rental car rates, everything is so much cheaper in the middle of the week. That's when I could afford to go. And I took this month in particular to go because it was cheaper and I could get away because the ebb and flow of actual YouTube. There are times in the beginning of the month when you have more viewership, and towards the in the middle of the month it kind of dips down and then it goes back up again. So that's why I took it in the middle of the month. Why did I go? I needed to find a way to get out of my own head. I needed to get out of my own way. I'm sure that everybody out there, who's watching this or listening to this as they're working, has been there at some point in their life. You get to the point where you have been doing the same thing for so long, day in, day out, that it consumes your life. And you start to lose track of who you are and what's important to you inside, and who you are, as more of, on also who you are to other people. I mean, it's bad enough losing yourself and losing, control of what's going on in your life. We all have to work. I mean, that's work. That's part of life. We work until we get to the age and we can retire, and some of us never get a chance to retire. And then we have those few golden years, maybe, if we're lucky, and then we get a nice little piece of marble with our name engraved on it, on top of it. but losing who I am as an individual was hurting my family, and especially my children. I don't want to do that again. And I need to find a balance between work and doing what I'm doing for a living. I spend every single day of my life for 4 years consumed by the horrific things that people do to each other. Reading and learning about the nastiest things that people will do to the elderly and to the weakest parts of our society, and mainly children. But I don't just cover every case, and a lot of people don't like that about me because, well, I document everything that I talk about. I go more in depth and learn more about the actual individuals, the victims, and the actual perpetrator than you're ever going to get on any other channel. But that's just me. And I lost track of who I was along the way. I got so good at it, and I'm still good at it to this day. I mean, I haven't lost my touch. It's just I got so deeply involved that I was taking more and more risks with my own health, my own life, and everything else had taken a back burner to continuing what I was doing, chasing the numbers, chasing the algorithms to try to be more successful, to try to find a way to get to a point where I need to be where I should have been all along. So I took 12 days off to recharge, to clear my head, and to just say nothing. The first 8 days that I was gone, I didn't see a single person. I filled up for gas at gas stations well after they were closed at night, 24-hour pump and pay places where you pull up, put your debit card in, and pay for gas, and you're gone. Everything that I ate for those days, I took with me. And I already had, I saw the one person beforehand, where I already gotten my, where I was going to stay at, already arranged. All I had to do was go find the little rock and pick up the rock, and the key was underneath the rock. For 7 days, I didn't see anybody. And that is exactly what I needed. I just needed to go away, to find a way to clear this. I did some touristy stuff. I saw the Cascade Mountains. I went trout fishing. Played a round of golf. And just said, and that the whole time I made a list of what was important to me and what's not. And trust me, this channel and my other channel are very important to me. I never once said that I was closing it up, that I was walking away, that I didn't appreciate each and every one of you being here. And while I was gone, about 100 people unsubscribed. I saw the comments. No new content. I'm leaving. I'm not sure what the people expect me to do at that point. Do they want me to try to talk them out of not leaving? I don't know. The haters are going to hate. The fans are going to be here. And as a wise man once told me when I first started this journey, you're never going to hear from the people who really enjoy your content, who really need to hear the message that you need to give. But you're always going to hear from the person who thinks that they're better than you. You're always going to hear from the person who thinks that you're wrong. Even if history proves you right, you're always going to hear from that person. Even regardless, with the facts sitting right there in front of them, and they learn, well, I guess maybe he was right all along. They're never going to come back and tell you that. They're going to tell you that you're a pompous ass. They're going to hate you. Those are the people you're always going to hear from. And I know, I hear from enough, people out there, not enough, but, it's enough that keeps me motivated, that really enjoy my content. But Unfortunately, I started to take a lot of it for granted. I started to take myself for granted, and my health and my family for granted. So I had to get away. It had to happen. And I'm sorry that a lot of people didn't understand that. But that's the honest truth. And that's all you're going to get on this channel is the honest truth about every situation that we ever cover. Now, on to the second part. A community post that I made shortly after returning. I need to tell you a story to give some context to this. About maybe 2.5 years ago, I started seeing a lot of comments pop up on my YouTube channel where people started addressing me as Steve. And I'm not Steve. I thought, well, maybe they were comparing me to somebody they know is, named Steve, or maybe they're confused. Maybe there's another true crime channel where the creator is named Steve. And I'm like, I didn't understand it until a live stream about, probably about a year later. So that started about 2.5 years ago. Then about a year later, during a live stream, somebody finally broke it down for me and told me what this was all about. Another YouTube creator who makes content that is completely different than mine. I'm in the true crime genre. He's in the camping genre. Steve Wallace of Camping with Steve, is what a lot of people think it is, but the channel's actually Steve Wallace. They thought that the two of us looked familiar, that maybe we were brothers. Maybe we speak alike. We have the same mannerisms. We both talk with our hands. We both like a two-step. And what people see as his faults, they see as my faults, but they never point out their own faults. But regardless, I made a community post about Steve Wallace, and commenting, and of condolence. He recently, on a Saturday night a week ago, from the time that you're seeing this, Saturday night, him and his wife went to bed. Him and Jess went to sleep. He always referred to, his wife as the, beautiful wife. And she was always the wife when she replied to comments in the comment section. They went to bed Saturday night, and only Steve woke up Sunday morning. She passed away peacefully in her sleep. I don't know Steve all that well. I know who he is. I know where he is. I know about his content, and I've been a supporter, through Patreon, and Beer Fund, and I've been a subscriber of his for since I learned who he was, and my heart goes out to Steve, to his family, his friends, his subscribers. To lose someone that close is an immense amount of pain that you'll never understand unless you've actually lived through it at some point in your life. I have no apology to offer to anyone from my community post, and it's still there, and you'll see that it's unedited. I haven't deleted anything from it. All I said was that he's brought immense joy and education to people internationally, and that I hope that he takes as much time as you can. The comments that I made on his actual video, and the comments that I'm where I posted it to my community tab, and I truly believe that. That comes from the bottom of my heart. Again, I have no apologies to make for that. I wasn't clout chasing. I wasn't doing it to drum up subscribers. I was doing it from the bottom of my heart, and because it's the right thing to do, because I truly feel sorry for him. and for his family, his friends, and his subscribers. He's going to be away for a while, and people are going to miss his content. They're going to miss seeing Steve. I almost lost my wife, in case you didn't know, to cancer. My wife got breast cancer almost 6 years ago now. And well, a little bit longer than 6 years, because our son's 6. But we went through a year and a half battle with it, and 1 in 3 million women at her age and demographic and race will ever see the type of breast cancer that my wife got. Every day I was afraid to sleep, to miss one more moment with her. It killed me, every single bit of me. They say that there's a body by chemo, the extreme weight loss. Try being someone who is there with them. When that person has every ounce of your soul and heart, and you're so invested and in love with them, you can't eat. You can't go on with anything. It doesn't just kill the cancer patient. It kills the loved one that is the closest to them. And every one of her family members, my daughter, my wife, it killed all of us so much. But we've moved on from it. We've gotten through it. But I came that close. So maybe I understand a little bit more about the loss that Steve is going through at this point. It's heart-wrenching. And I wouldn't wish it even on my mortal enemy, if I have one. I wouldn't wish it upon them. So that's why I made the community post. And that's why I was gone. I did one part for myself. Because I had to. Then YouTube says, take as much time as you need. Your mental health is more important. Didn't seem that way. Doesn't seem that way even now. But I'm back. I'm here to make content. I'm here to give you the facts on the other channel and on this channel. Because that's what my promise has been all along. To give you the content that you richly deserve and want. Shouldn't you want that? I hope that everyone stayed safe out there while I was gone. And I truly did miss, a large portion of this. But a large portion of the negativity. I'm so glad that I didn't look at those comments, those that were on and off of YouTube and those different community outlets. I'm so glad that I didn't spend my time just worrying about how people were going to beat me like a redheaded stepchild over being gone, and talk and make up stories about where I was. And I'm truly sorry that anyone would ever think that low of me, that I would post a community condolence to someone who is truly suffering to try to gain even one. Everyone, have a great week and stay safe out there.